Did you notice that there's nothing organizational about what I've said this time? There's nothing organizational about it at all. It is all about the organization in here. I am fond of saying that my problem is between the outer edges of my two ears. It's all up here. I'm not sure if everything exists in the head or in other organs of the body, but on my insides, that's where the problem is for me, and that's where the problem is for you. And I said to you that there are three things that you need to do, IZE words, that you need to come to grips with if you're going to play your part on this planet. The first one is to realize that we have a problem, that the church is languishing in most places in North America. Make a difference by realizing that we have a problem. If you don't have a problem, then you don't need a solution. We have a problem. It isn't primarily an organizational problem, although there are organizational things that must happen. It is not primarily the quality of the videos, elements of things, although that's important that it looks right. It's not that important about how you dress, whether you dress more formally or less formally, although that's an important thing to consider to have a relationship with people. Oh, there's just a bucket load of people, of things that are not important. But what is important is to realize that we have a problem in the life of the church, and the church is leaking. Make a difference by realizing that we have a problem, and then recognize that you have a part to play with other individuals. You can't talk to everybody in the life of the church or in the lobby of the church, but you can talk to different people. Don't just gravitate to going back and having the conversations with your friends, and particularly do not consume yourself with kind of the church organization and politics. Take an interest in the other person. Realize that we have a problem, but recognize other people, particularly those that others are less likely to recognize. Start a conversation. We have lots to say about how to start that conversation. It's a skill that is learnable. Recognize that you can learn it. Don't say, well, I'm just not really good at that. Of course, you're not good at it until you get good at it. Recognize people and pay attention to their need and what they need you to do. And then the third R was rise, and I spelled it with a Z just to make it all look the same. RIZE. Rise. Rise up physically. Sunday morning, if it's a Sunday morning meeting that's the main meeting in your church, don't let yourself sleep in. Sleep in some other time. Get a snooze in the afternoon. Do whatever you need to do. But first of all, stir yourself up to rise up for church. You know, if you're employed, you probably get to work on time. And if you don't get to work on time too many times in a row, you're going to find out that there's no work to get to. You have to kind of make things work for you where you kind of get yourself going. Well, do that in the life of the church. Remember that you are going to worship the King of Kings with other people, and rise up to engage with the other people in the life of the church. And it will make a huge difference. You can do lots of things in connection with making it better if you're the preacher, if you're not the preacher. And we'll get to those things at another time. But make sure that you, first of all, realize we have a problem. Secondly, recognize what you can do in the relationship that you have with other people. Generally speaking, people you've not had a strong conversation with yet. And then make sure that you stir yourself up to get engaged in the ministry. You can make the difference for others around you. They might not notice it immediately, but over time, as they look back, maybe after you've moved on in one way or another, they will say, you know, that person made a difference to me. You can be the difference to other people. And this is a great week for you to start that. First of all, realize we have a problem. Secondly, recognize people who might not get recognized. And thirdly, rise up yourself.